In part 1 of this music room video series, I showed you my concept for the space and the components going in it for the ideal dedicated 2-channel listening room. When I say ideal, that's based on what I think I can afford. This room isn't some sort of audiophile's wet dream, so don't get too excited. I had it all figured out with a nice Marantz AVR, some SVS Ultra Towers, a bunch of acoustic treatments, and so on. Once I shared the video online, the internet had something to say about it, and of course they did, right?
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
There you have it, back to the drawing boards. Apparently my concept of listening to music did not fall in line with the rules of home audio. One does not simply use home theater equipment to listen to music. Sort of like how one simply does not use a soundbar for a home theater. After some great advice and my own research, I have revamped the room in not only its appearance, but with entirely different hardware. As of this video, I purchased all the equipment and put together a bunch of unboxing videos on the channel if you missed them. There will be more on those components covered in parts 3 and 4. Make sure to watch for those. In this video, I turn a plain unused room into a magnificent space to relax and enjoy some tunes. Bear witness to the transformation that is before you. Here is the original spare room used as a guest bedroom. It's used maybe twice a year and is a complete waste of space. Most of what's in here will be given away or stored in the basement. It tends to get warm in here, so the first thing I'll do is install a ceiling fan. I got one off Amazon that's Wi-Fi enabled, and I'll put Alexa RGB light bulbs in it towards the end of the project. Now it's just a matter of clearing out the room and taking down the doors and removing the door stops. Because I'll be painting the baseboards, I'll have to line the carpet with this sticky plastic stuff. I figured the best way to completely seal in the carpet is to use a mudding knife and jam the carpet film down under the baseboard. I do this around the entire perimeter of the room. Oh man, I'm dizzy. To further prepare for painting, I throw down some plastic to protect this sweet carpeting. To tape off the trim, I'm using the green tape. It seems to work way better for painting than the blue stuff. I'm sure the neighbors weren't at all concerned that I papered over the windows. It's not like I was throwing chicken wire and small shrubs in there or anything. I'll be painting the room with Sherwin-Williams Westchester Gray in satin. Once the walls are done, I let them dry overnight before bringing in the doors. They get the same paint. I give the doors a day to dry, then move them out. Meanwhile, I paint all the faceplates black with 2 coats of black spray paint. I purchased black faceplates for my home theater, but already had the spray paint in this case. If you know me by now, you'll notice I like to spray paint things. I never cut in the gray paint at the ceiling. This music room will have RGB lighting around the perimeter above crown molding. Because of this, I will paint a band of glossy white to help reflect the light better. It looks sloppy now, but it will tighten up once the molding is installed. In hindsight, I should have done this first, since accidents are bound to happen, and they did. Now is the time to tape off the door frame and the baseboards. I run a coat of dark gray primer over all the trim and let that dry overnight. Then I apply 2 coats of Sherwin-Williams Tricorn Black in gloss. Why gloss? Because that's all they had. Allow me to show you why I like green tape. Time to remove the carpet film. And here is the progress so far. I did 2 coats each of the gray and black paints, and I am pleased with the results. The window will get some new shades and curtains after all the finish work is complete. Till then, it stays covered. Moving on to the crown molding. I need to find all the studs and mark them with purple tape so I can secure the molding properly. Before I actually get to the molding, I install the TV mount and knock a few holes in the wall for the cables. I made a dirt trap. It traps the dirt. I'm sure you've seen these single gang pass-through kits before. I've got a ton of them in my house. I like to create a little template for the cutout. Makes it easy and accurate. Plus a laser level helps too. I'll run an extension cord, 2 HDMI cables, and 1 Toslink cable down the wall. The music room will not be used for watching TV, but will have a graphical menu to access the database from. Plus, I want to keep my options open since you never know what can happen in the future. The audio source has an HDMI eARC option and I intend to use it. I got cables rated as 8K compliant. They didn't cost any more than any other HDMI cables, so I bought 2 of them. One is a spare. Whenever I run cables, I always mark the ends. You know this problem, the scourge of all DIYers. Electrical plugs with excessive amounts of plastic, making them too bloated to fit through the wall plates. The frustration. Shear it away. But wear safety goggles and protect your fine vases. I'm making good progress here, so I decided to just finish the TV install and focus on the crown molding later. To go along with the ceiling lights is a matching strip of backlighting for the TV. Links to all the RGB kits will be in the description. Now that the TV is out of the way, I can start the crown molding. After setting up Dexter's kill room in the garage, I'm ready to start cutting it down. Here is a look at the profile. The top is straight and flat for the LED strip. I went ahead and started cutting the angles. I sketched up a diagram of the room and the lengths I need for the sections. This is necessary to make sure the ends of the pieces fall at a stud. Fast forward a couple days and now the molding has been sized and cut. It's time to paint them. Again, I will be spray painting them with black semi-gloss, just like the face plates. But first I need to lay them out off the ground. After they dry, I bring them into the music room for installation. You have to admit, this is a really nice finish. Brad nailer and air compressor are ready to go. After having marked every stud around the room, I'm ready to get this molding up on the wall. Referring back to my drawing, I start with the piece marked as A, and that goes in the corner straight ahead. I knew I wanted a 2-inch gap between the molding and the ceiling. Instead of measuring every step of the way, I discovered the tape rolls were 2 inches, and I used those as placeholders while mounting the pieces. I feel so clever. Naturally, whenever you install trim or molding, you need to go back and repair the nail holes. What I did was spray the paint into one of the lids and used a small paintbrush to cover the marks. Here's the room with the finished molding. With the molding done, I can get the LED strip started. The strip is roughly 50 feet and should be just enough to circle the room. Unfortunately, the actual length is almost a foot shorter than the advertised length, so there's a small gap in the back corner. There was no way for me to install this strip without a long power cord running down the corner of the wall. Luckily, I have bass traps that will conceal this. Here are the completed lights as intended. I think they turned out pretty good. Here they are, bass traps trapped in a vacuum seal. I wanted these for the corners of the room and I thought they would look neat. Did I really need them? I don't know. Probably not. I let these rest a couple of weeks before installing. Some never regained their shape, while most of them look pretty good. I attempted to mask the cables in the corner with the foam wedges. I discovered it to be not only a bad idea, but nearly impossible to get looking right. I was not able to line up the pattern due to the adhesive squares grabbing the wall. I thought alternating them would help, but they looked even worse. With my wife's help, we tried some other things and figured out a way to get these wedges up as neatly as possible. After living with them for a while, I don't even notice them anymore. While this music room is coming together, I'm juggling the creation of some special acoustic panels. I have a separate build video for those if you want to know more. I designed these panels to resemble the look of classic stereo speakers. Most acoustic panels are simply wrapped in fabric, but these new ones have a nice wood grain finish on the sides and a speaker grill cover. I really wanted to elevate this acoustic panel above that of the ones I previously made on my channel. Next, I get to put some pictures up. I got these record cover frames that measure 13 inches square from Amazon. I got 2 packs of 9. I had some promotional record covers left over from my days at the Record Exchange and decided to display these in the music room. Not all the covers are classic, we had some professionally printed too. Now I go load 18 picture frames. With all the work being done for this room, I'm most excited to hang these pictures. I was really pleased with the current concept drawing and wanted to stick with it. I put the measurements down on paper and just started ticking everything out. One by one I get all the pictures mounted, and I love the look of these. The final phase of this video is getting the console assembled. It's to store the records and the audio gear. It's been sitting in our dining room for weeks and I hope there's no damage. As I pick through the box, I see there's so many pieces parts. I'm really wondering what I got myself into. For all the things I do and all the projects I've worked on, I absolutely dread assembling these things. I always apply wood glue to furniture using wooden dowels. Otherwise they float around loose, so what's the point of having them? Okay, enough complaining. Time to get to work. This unit was surprisingly good quality with no problems. Thank you for sticking around this long. In part 3, I'll get all the components hooked up and prepare them for the finished music room. Thanks for watching.